Don't let one bad leg haunt your parlay. Parlays turn into payouts, and now even near misses won't haunt your bet. The NFL season is here, and DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, is rewriting the rules with Ghost Leg, a new game-changing promotion that turns close calls into cold, hard cash. Best of all, it's available to all DraftKings customers. Here's how it works. Build any 3+ leg pregame NFL parlay on Sunday, apply your Ghost Leg token, and if one leg loses, DraftKings makes it vanish like it never existed and pays you out in cash for the rest. Last season, over 30 million parlays were lost by a single leg. This year, Ghost Leg gives those busted bets a second life. No more busted parlays that haunt you all season. With Ghost Leg, the bad leg vanishes. The payout doesn't. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code PFF. That's code PFF to unlock Ghost Leg, the promotion that makes one bad leg disappear and pays you out in real cash. Ghost your losses, get your payout in partnership with DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. The next one, Dalton, is maybe the biggest upset we had the entire week. We had USF continuing their unbelievable start to the season after beating number 25 Boise State in week 1. They beat number 13 Florida in week 2, 18-16 the final score. Let's go over the highest graded USF Bulls in this game, starting off with their cornerback Deshaun Rucker, 70.7. Wide receiver Mudia Rubin with a 70.2 grade. Connor McLaughlin with a 69.7 grade. Safety Tavin Ward, 68 grade. Running back Alvin Isaac, 65.1. And Byron Brown, the quarterback, with a 50.7 grade in the win for USF. Let's go over to Florida with their highest grade player, starting off with Jake Slaughter, 74 grade. Linebacker Jaden Robinson, also 74 grade. Devin Moore, also 74 grade. Aaron Gates, also 74 grade. Najee Harris, 73 grade. And then DJ Lagway with a 65.9 grade in the loss for the Gators. Dawn, for you, what told the story in the biggest upset of week 2?
Well, USF just kept punching, right? They just kept punching. They kept the game tight. It was 9-6 at halftime. Okay, they're still in it. Then they go up 13-9 with the big Keyshawn Singleton touchdown. Okay, clearly they're still in it. Then the safety, and then the Gators take the lead, and it was really about two things. USF's just staying in the ball game as long as humanly possible. And to me, this is the Gators and the lack of discipline in this football game. The penalties, 11 penalties for 103 yards. USF offensively got 4 first downs on Gator penalties, including the 2 big ones on the very last drive. A pass interference that got the drive started. And then let's just say it, because now we've seen it. I'm going to have to talk about it tomorrow on the NFL show too. What are we spitting on people for? What are we spitting on people for? Or you're costing yourself.
I was going to spit on you for taking UConn over Syracuse for your upset.
I know you were. And honestly,
you screwed it. We'll talk about that later.
Can I just throw some side, at least my logic to this? If you have a choice, if you're going to either spit on somebody or swing at them, just take a swing.
Yeah.
Make it worth your time. Like what are we? And the other here's
defensive tackles too.
And especially with two things. You know, every coach in the country has to have said, wow, Jalen Carter, why would you spit on somebody? You just got yourself ejected before the game started, right? 2 days before this game. The other thing, remember 2 years ago when Florida was playing Florida State? And they actually had Florida State on the undefeated Florida State, and they had them on. It was like 10-0 halfway through the second quarter. They got another stop on Tate Rodemaker in Florida State. I forget who it was. Somebody spit on a Florida State player. Gave him 15 yards and basically jump-started the rest of Florida State's win from
Remember Marco Wilson throwing a shoe?
Then there's the Marco Wilson shoe game.
Yeah.
I mean, it just embodies this entire loss for Florida with the penalties. They had 2 penalties on the same drive on offense in the second quarter, that took a touchdown off the board twice. They had a false start. They killed them in the red zone in the first quarter, held them to a field goal. You just can't. Especially after we just watched USF absolutely whip Boise, a ranked team, the week before, right? So you go, this shouldn't be a trap game. It shouldn't be. You just watched this team beat a ranked team 34-7 that made the playoff last year, right? You should know if you watch this team, hey, they're at least pretty good. i.e. they're G5, they're in-state, they're 2 hours down the road in Tampa down I-75. Yeah, their little brother, okay, whatever. You got to come out and play disciplined football. And the Gators just didn't do that from start to finish. This was the penalties all the way from the first quarter costing them points to the end of the game where 2 big penalties, 2 big 15s in a row absolutely cost you the game.
Yeah.
And USF only had to make 2 or 3 plays on that last drive to get in field goal range for a really good kicker in Nico Grammatica, by the way. But, I mean, the Gators now are in such a bad spot because of this.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot, yes, USF played well. Their defense is way better than it's been at any point under Alex Golesh the last 2 years. You know what? I mean, you probably know. The rest of Florida's schedule, 10 games. Mm-hmm. 8 of those 10 teams are playing are currently ranked.
Oh, we're gonna preview every Florida game basically the rest of the year.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And if they play this undisciplined, they're going to lose a lot of them.
Yeah.
8 of those 10 teams are ranked. Mississippi State's probably going to get ranked.
I would rank them right now.
I would too after what they just did last night. We'll get there. And then Kentucky. You could have 9 ranked teams out of the next 10 games, and you just lost to USF because of penalties, and you can't finish drives, and just the level of frustration watching this from the Gators' end could not be higher. And credit, man, Alex Golesh and what he's doing with this USF team, because I'm telling you, their defense in his 2+ years has never looked this good. It never has.
Really quickly, this upcoming week, add a top 5 team in LSU. Following week after that, add a top 5 team in Miami. Then after that, they have a bye week. Then they have a home game against a top 10 team in Texas. Then they are at number 19 Texas A&M. Then they host Mississippi State, who just pulled off a big upset over Arizona State, probably should be ranked right now. Then Georgia. Then they're at Kentucky. Then they're at Ole Miss. Then they're hosting Tennessee. Then they host Florida State. I mean, this is it's a brutal schedule. But if you're
a Florida team that neither of us picked to be in the SEC title game, but we know they're good, and if you're a Florida team that's looking to get to 10 wins in an at-large, and you just lost to USF on penalties and stupid things and spitting on people, and you just can't. Like, they're very talented, but they're not talented enough to make all of these mistakes and make the playoff.
Yeah.
They're already in massive trouble for their entire season because I don't care where they rank USF and what it looks like eventually.
Oh, we'll show that later on the show.
Just lost to USF at home.
I want to give some credit to USF because in my preview, I talked about DJ Lagway and how he's one of the best deep ball throwers in college football, and that Florida's receiving core is really, really good too. And USF's secondary in the last few years under Alex Golesh has been struggling against deep balls. DJ Lagway had a 52.3 passing grade on deep throws in this game, Dalton. 52.3. The year before, he had a 95.5. Or excuse me, he had one of the 95.6 on deep passes last year, which was 3rd in the country. He was 0 for 4 on his deep balls in this game with an interception on one of those deep balls too. He had a big-time throw on one of those 20-plus yard throws, but it was dropped by his receiver. Again, 3rd in the country last year in deep passing grade with a 95.6 deep passing grade, 52.3 against USF in a matchup on paper that significantly favored Florida in this one too. He led the Power 4 last year in big-time throw rate as only a true freshman. And the thing is, Florida's offensive line gave him clean pockets all day. Florida had a 95.5 pass blocking grade against USF. That's the best pass blocking grade we have ever seen from the Gators in the PFF college era, dating all the way back to 2014. So it's not like the USF defensive line, was pressuring him all night. He didn't have time to get to those deep balls. He had time. And the USF secondary, which I'm sure you're going to talk about right now, they held up back there in coverage. Even though DJ Lagway was very rarely under pressure in this game, USF still made him uncomfortable by making him be a conservative quarterback.
He was only under pressure 3 times the entire day.
Yeah.
And that's with a very high blitz rate coming out. USF tried, and they just couldn't because Florida's off the top 10 offensive line in the country, right? He missed a few easy ones that could have made a difference. There was a drop touchdown in the first quarter on a flat route, good throw from Lagway. And that big-time throw you just mentioned, that would have sealed the game. And also that sequence, too, when the Gators got the ball back with 2:50-something on the clock, they threw it on first down. No clue why. When they were running the ball pretty well with Jaden Ball all day. Second down is what it is, 2nd and 8. You get to 3rd and 8, and they chuck up a slot fade, and he makes a perfect throw, and Vernell Brown drops it. I mean, it's just every bit, at every moment where Florida could have put USF away, They never did. And you mentioned the USF secondary. I'm going to give them most impressive. Look, the grades, it's not like some crazy 90 grade, and they had the one interception, which was big, obviously. But I think it's more to me about the improvement of this team, and we mentioned it. They just need to keep themselves in it in the secondary, because it was so often in these scenarios, like I think about last year, right? I think about last year when they played Alabama. They were down 5 with 6 minutes left. They had a shot. If they stop Alabama, maybe they get one shot just like this, and Ryan Williams scores an 80-yard touchdown. It's plays like that. Oh, you've mentioned over the last 2 years, USF's given up the most explosive pass plays in the country through 2 weeks. And I know Boise's not too explosive, but they've got something, right? And then you've got DJ Lagway in Florida. 12.5% explosive pass rate allowed. That's like right at the national average. So if this secondary is average, and I like this front seven, especially at linebacker with Mac Harris and Jalen Shuler, right? Now you've got a pretty good defense. And now you're talking about, okay, you didn't allow many explosives and no deep balls to Florida. All right, now, well, first of all, we got to get to Carson Beck in Miami next week. That'll be a fun one. We'll talk about that. But then you get through the American and you go, if this USF defense is this real, they're a contender, and they're a playoff contender, no question.
Absolutely.
And then this secondary, you just got to credit just some of the guys here. You even see them in the top 5, Deshaun Rucker there, Tavin Ward. You've got a unit now that Todd Orlando has playing so much better than they did the last 2 years. If they keep that part up, and then, because look, but yeah, Byram, was it great in this game? It wasn't. It was a grind. The game was 18-16 for a reason, right? It was ugly offensively on both sides. But USF in conference can get this offense rolling.
Definitely.
We've seen they just need Byron Brown healthy for all 12.
Look at last week against Boise State.
Absolutely. When they get it rolling and they get this tempo rolling, and now this year again, I said this last week. I'm gonna say it again with USF. The last couple years they had Sean Atkins. He was nice. He was a really good player, but he was a slot, move the chains kind of guy. With Chaz Nimrod and with Keyshawn Singleton as 2 actual vertical receivers in this Tennessee Josh Heupel style offense, it's a different offense. They just need Byron Brown healthy for all 12 games, and they're a playoff contender.
My most impressive has to be Alex Golesh, the head coach of USF right now. I don't think anyone in college football has been as impressive as USF through the first 2 weeks right now. They beat number 25. They beat the brakes off Boise State last week, who entered this year, I believe in DraftKings odds, like plus 180 to make the playoff. Boise State had, and they beat the brakes off them in week 1, 34-7. Week 2, they beat a top 15 team in Florida. So 2 ranked wins in the first 2 games for USF so far. They were underdogs by 17.5 points, I believe, was the final spread in this game, too. I tweeted it out, and I know it's very early, and people are like, oh, it's way too early to say that. USF right now, the clear favorite to be the Group of 5 playoff contender.
It's a tough road. You look at the only thing you look at is just how good the American is when you talk about Memphis and Tulane and Navy and UTSA is pretty. It is pretty stacked this year at the top of the American, but they have the capability of beating everybody.
If you're beating Boise State like that and you're beating Florida like this, I know Memphis and Tulane are very good teams too. The USF right now is the clear favorite.
Oh, sure, absolutely, especially with a win over Florida, but you got to play the games, and I'm not sure. I'm looking now to see which of those teams they play in the regular season. They are at Memphis. They are at Navy. They don't get Tulane in the regular season. So, there's going to be 2 big road games. We'll see where it goes. If they get UTSA at home, it's a stacked American, and they got to win some tough games, especially on the road. But no, this team is capable of whatever they want to be.
Honestly. Even if they lose a game in the American and lose to Miami next week, I think a 10-2 with wins over Boise State and wins over Florida will get you in the playoff. I honestly think that right now too. So
yeah, if they win, as long as they still win the conference. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, then they'll be 11-2 at that point. And then you feel good about it. But it's the biggest win probably any Group of 5 team is going to have this year. And dare I say something crazy? They're going to be ranked this week, as they should be. You want my theory on this? You want something fun? If by some miracle, we'll pick the game on Tuesday. If by some miracle they walked into Miami and won next week, we like resumes around here, right? We're not just they should be the number 1 team in the country.
There's an argument.
If they somehow, by some, and I'm sure they'll be a 17, 18-point dog again next week, if for any reason they won that game next week, I think after week 3 they should be the number 1 team in the country.
Yeah, there's an argument.
I don't think there's anybody even close with a 3-0 like that. With Boise at the time ranked at Florida and at Miami. 2 in the top 15, 1 top 5. That's just throwing it out there. You might not. They might not be the best team in the country.
If LSU beats Florida too, this week.
All of a sudden, that doesn't look as good now.
Well,
and US.
Clemson. I mean, come on. There's plenty of games here where they didn't pull it off. Clemson won the game. Like, there's so many times your teams go into halftime like down by a little bit, and then they come back and win.
Well, sure, but I'm
not that. It's not. I didn't have that many takeaways.
That's where I'm at.
Real quick on Golesh, so I want to finish this up too. He has just done an incredible turnaround at USF in his third season there. USF in the 3 years before he took over, they won a combined 4 games in those 3 years. And now he has them consistently humming along right now. They're going to be ranked, and I would think they should be in the top 15 at least right now. First time since 2018 that USF will be ranked in the top 25. This is one of the hottest candidates for any job that opens up this offseason too. Maybe even the team that you just beat. Maybe even. I'm not putting anything out there right now, but listen, he has done an amazing job at USF, and he could topple a third giant in as many weeks this week against a top 5 team in Miami. Because, I mean, what USF is doing right now, what they've done in the last couple of years under him after being legitimately terrible in the last 5 years before he took over.
There were some lean ones. Yeah, there were some lean years in Tampa.
They were horrendous. Again, in the 3 years before he took over, they won a combined 4 games in those 3 years. So they averaged like 1 win per year in the 3 years before he took over. It's incredible what Alex Golesh has done so far.
No, they've always had the resources. They've always had the fan base. It's just been times when they just lost sight of the vision and what they wanted to be. Golesh came in with a clear vision. They've won bowl games the last 2 years, which is big time. Like you mentioned, just the lean years they had under the previous regime. And now where they're at now, and especially to me, again, also Todd Orlando in this defense, they've only given up 23 points over the last 2 games against really good teams. No, this USF thing, it's real. Whether they win or lose against Miami next week, this is going to be a team we're watching all year.